All right, this is going to be a look at the Browns' run game and how the Bengals' defense just really shut them down in Week 14. 23-10 win for the Bengals. The Browns tried to make it competitive in certain situations, but we're going to focus on the running game. And we're going to focus on the impact that, look, to be honest with you, the title is a little immature because the Bengals defense goes deeper than just DJ Reader. Now he does have an impact, no doubt. He did not play in the team's first meeting in week 8. He was out injured at that time. And if you recall, the Browns blasted the Bengals 32-13. Browns moved to 3-5, ran for 172 on the ground. Now, this is generally a Ravens channel, so Ravens fans who are listening, that was the week after the Browns had come to Baltimore. The Ravens were able to scrape by 23-20 over the Browns and held the Browns' running attack to 113. So let's do a comparison. I'm not only talking about stats generally, but I feel like it's a good way to intro this. This week against the Bengals in Cincinnati, the Browns generated 71 yards rushing. That's their second lowest output of the year in terms of rushing yards. Their lowest was 70 against the Patriots the week before they played the Ravens in a 38-10 loss. Then the Browns come to Baltimore, play the Ravens, run for 113, but hang around. Jacoby Brissett makes some plays. They lost 23-20. They defeated the Bengals the following week in Week 8. DJ Reader returns from injury in Week 11, doesn't record a single statistical contribution in 44 snaps on the field in their 37-30 win over the Steelers. Has now played 4 games, Week 11, 12, 13, and 14. Played more than 40 snaps in each game. Now, this past week against Cleveland, he had 5 tackles, he had a pass defense, he had a quarterback hit. If you don't think there's a DJ Reader effect, you didn't pay attention last year during the playoffs. I did a video primarily about DJ Reader after the Bengals win over the Titans in the divisional round. And his ability to move horizontally and win blocks at the point of attack, I thought was pretty amazing. So we're going to go through these plays, probably 20 plays, I think, 19 or 20 from the Bengals' 23-10 win over the Browns this past week. This is the first drive. It's a 1st and 10. There's a lot of talk about Chubb, whether he's as effective in the shotgun or under center or whatever the situation is. The Browns can run this concept from under center. They can run it in the shotgun. They're pulling the right guard, and he's pulling all the way around because he's a quick, athletic guy for a guard, and Chubb is trying to get to the outside. It kind of works out like buck sweep if you're familiar with the wing tee, where he can take this thing to the outside, or he can kind of put his foot in the ground and go underneath of that pulling lineman's block. I don't give you the end zone angle from all of these, but one thing I will say about the Bengals guys is, first of all, they play with great energy. They play with great energy, and they show it after the play. They play with great technique, and they usually get a surge, if you ask me, especially when Reader's on the field. Here he is right here. I think that's Teller trying to combo him, and Reader has just pile-drived him into the ground. It's a tackle for loss for, I think, Pratt. Force player did a great job coming up here to force the ball inside. Strong side corner. Guard's got to pick him up. Pratt's there to get the tackle. Their pursuit, their recognition, their awareness is just off the charts. Very next play. All right, so first drive, 2nd and 12, under center, and they're going to run stretch. That's a 13-yard gain. They're running away from Reader. Why do I tell you that? Last year, I remember 3 times the Titans ran this same exact concept to Reader's side. The offense is left, the defense is right, and Reader was the 3 technique, and he was able to win at the point of attack and shut it down. Reader's on the backside here, 13-yard gain. Do I think that those 2 things are related? Yes. Do I think it's a direct correlation? I'm not sure. I mean, they're sure they could get some runs successfully at Reader occasionally, but he's in a backside 3 here, and the run's going all the way over here. Trey Hendrickson has a tendency, if you ask me, to kind of get upfield and really not do a ton on the inside. Like, I just finished doing a video on JPP for the Ravens, and one thing he'll do is he'll be here, engaged with a tackle, and then he'll be able to jump and dive inside. Maybe it's, the length, the athleticism. I'm not sure, but this is a situation where Hendrickson forces the ball inside and then is unable to redirect to that gap inside of him. All right, so 3rd and 1, first drive again, and you got 2 running backs in the backfield. Here's Reader, by the way. You got Hunt and Chubb in the backfield. It's an option give with a pitch relationship phase between Watson and Chubb running out to the right. And look how aggressive these guys are. They're coming. Von Bell off the left side. I don't even know who 35 is, but he's running in there like a bat out of hell. And then Watson and Chubb are running out pitch relationship. But this is the Bengals defense. They're going to make you make a decision quick, whether it's the run or the pass game. And by the way, if you didn't notice it already, watch him split the double team and be one of the first guys to make contact. He's a special player. This Bengals defense is very good regardless. There are just so many good football players, so well coached on defense. I can't even pronounce the DC's last name. I don't even try to at this point. But without DJ Reader, they are a different defense. All right, so 4th and 1. Got Reader at nose tackle. First possession. Brissett's in the game now. For some reason, I really don't know why. There's a 6th offensive lineman on the field for the Browns. So we call it jumbo, just a way to designate that there's another offensive lineman on the field. Here he is right here. And 4th and 1, they go play action pass. I think that tells you a little bit. We're talking about the Cleveland Browns. They got Nick Chubb. They got Hunt. And they're going up top to score to Donovan Peoples-Jones, who's been making plays, don't get me wrong. I think that the presence of DJ Reader and how good the Bengals are at defending the run has a lot to do with this play call early. The Browns did run for 172 on them in that Week 8 win, but like I said, DJ Reader didn't play. Does that explain all of it? No, I think it explains some. All right, second drive, Reader is down here in like this 2-eye. It's going to be this really weird pass. Actually goes down as a run by Deshaun Watson because he flips it backwards. Hubbard is getting pressure. B.J. Hill is there. The pursuit of this Bengals defense is the same as it was last year during their playoff run. It's just exquisite. You can't get away from them. They're like shit on a blanket. You just can't get away from them. So the tight end, Njoku, is engaged with Hubbard. Watson can't find anything, ends up pitching it backwards, so it goes down as a run play to Njoku. Still a loss on the play. So technically a negative 2-yard run. Another stretch play under center. Chubb in the backfield. 3-yard gain to the left. Pratt did this against Tennessee twice last year. I think it was Pratt. Look at the angle he goes at. He's committed right now. They're not worried about the boot. They're going to let Von Bell handle the boot. Watch the angle he goes at. Reader's not on the field, by the way. They got their nickel group on the field, but the Bengals can stop the run in the nickel. They just can. Their pursuit, their athleticism is such that they can stop the run in their nickel. Not worried about the boot at all. To Watson. Look, none of these guys are worried about the boot. They're just worried about the stretch. That's what the Ravens have got to do. I mean, they got to take that away and then deal with the boot with, backside safety or edge player or someone like that as needed. Third drive. This is a 1st and 10. QB counter read to Watson. I wonder how often you're going to get this from them. Ravens run it a lot. It's a great play in college, high school. QB counter read. So the running backs are both going on the sweep path. And then you're getting a down scheme, down, presumably to the inside linebacker. You're getting a pull by the guard and kick. And then what should be a pull and a wrap. Watson should, emphasis on should, I think, be reading this guy. It doesn't look like he is to me. I think if it is, he's a give, and Hunt is off to the races as a lead blocker, and then Chubb is running vertical behind him. Maybe he's reading Pratt because Pratt goes with the backer. In any case, ends up being a 7-yard gain. I wonder how often you're going to see this from the Browns out of the shotgun. They're kind of giving it away formation-wise when they put Hunt and Chubb both back there. But the other thing to say is when they got them both back there, they could run that play to either side because there's no fullback on the field. There's no running back in the backfield who's not a run threat. All right, third drive. Option left. It's a give to Chubb. Doesn't look like they've run this a ton because you can see the mesh and the give is a little bit wonky. Chubb almost fumbles it, has to, recover it. Guess who's in there on the tackle? DJ Reader, 98. He's just too good to deal with one-on-one. And it kind of doesn't even matter who the guard is. One-on-one, he's just going to be able to win that matchup the majority of the time, in my opinion. I don't know what his PFF grades are. I really don't care. When you watch the film, that looks like a dominant football player at the point of attack. When they run stretch away from him, sure, you can get some stuff done. All right, again, Chubb, Hunt in the backfield, but they're not in jokers. They're not evenly lined up, next to Watson. I call this Ram. Hunt is either misreading this or he's not reading it. Normally, the teams that run this option, if you're a Ravens fan watching this, don't pay attention for the next minute and a half. If you're someone new watching it, then pay attention. Normally, what happens is the D end, pull this back. So Watson and Hunt would both be reading this D end, called a dual read. Let's say this DN was to run down the line of scrimmage violently, which he does not do here, but we're going to begin the explanation there. Let's say he was to run down the line of scrimmage violently to take away Chubb. On the give to Chubb, he's going to go tackle Chubb. Then Hunt's job is to loop around him and go pick up the frontside inside linebacker or the first thing that shows up. Generally, it's the frontside inside linebacker. And then Watson would keep it and run around the edge and follow that lead blocker, which in this case would be Hunt. Let's say that Hendrickson does the opposite. Let's say he runs upfield. Watson and Hunt should both be reading that. And then Hunt sees the read man go upfield. He knows that's going to be a give. So what he would do is instead of looping outside, that doesn't make any sense, he would insert inside. He would go off of the left shoulder of Hendrickson. And guess who he would go block? The frontside inside linebacker, the first guy that would show up because it'd be a give. So in either case, Hunt is generally, as the fullback, going to be assigned to block the frontside inside linebacker on the play, whoever's lined up normally right about there. Now, in this case, Hendrickson gives a little bit of a half-man read. He's going to play half of the keep by Watson, and he's going to play the keep by Watson. He's going to play half of the give to Chubb. Pretty cool. In any case, they don't read it the same. Watson gives it, and Hunt is looping outside. That indicates to me that either one of two things happened. Either Deshaun Watson misread it, which I don't think is the case, or Kareem Hunt is not reading it. Not because he can't, but just because there's only so many things you can install. And I don't know that they've been running this a ton with Jacoby Brissett. When they played the Ravens in week 7, they did not run this at all. Hopefully that makes sense. Fourth possession, 1st and 10. I think the first play of the drive. 1-yard gain by Chubb on the run. DJ Reader is here. Watch who makes the tackle. This is what I mean when I say they can stop the run from their nickel. You got a 4-2 alignment in here. Von Bell, let's call him strong safety. Jesse Bates, let's call him the free safety. I don't know how they go in terms of what they actually call them. It doesn't matter to me. Corner, and then nickel safety here. Hilton or Hinton. I can never remember whether it's an L or an N. I think it's Hilton. Running inside, possibly a designed blitz, possibly just him recognizing. Look at his eyes. He's staring right in the backfield, possibly looking at, if I get a mesh, I'm gone. No hesitation. I'm not going to be RPO'd, because teams do this. They mesh with the running back who's on the offense's right, and then they run the slant on the other side, backwards RPO, whatever you want to call it. Some people, in the old days, they just called it play action. Now, RPO, all right? Great fill, and he's the guy that makes the tackle. He's unaccounted for in the blocking scheme. Boom. Flips Chubb. upside down. That's a play that players on the offense remember. All right, same drive, fourth possession, a one-back power play. This isn't really one-back power. That's I don't know what else to call it, to be honest with you. I just don't think you can run this against the speed that the Bengals have at linebacker and the second and third level. I think that also applies to Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen if you're a Ravens fan and still watching. Again, the right guard's going to pull, but he's not pulling and wrapping. He's pulling and like leading out to the edge, and they generally can do this because they've got two compressed players on that edge, so they're able to control that edge and allow the guard to get outside there. You really can't do this if you've only got one slot. Like let's say these two guys here was lined up out wider. It's a whole hell of a lot tougher to do this because the edge is not so clearly it's not as blocked as easily for you. But in any case, both inside linebackers are there. Wilson underrated, 57 underrated. 29, Cam Taylor Britt, I think that's who that is. Comes in, forces it inside. They are, I hate this word, they are an elite defense. I don't care what their rankings are. So to project comparing the Ravens defense against the Browns to them, I think in terms of the run game, they compare favorably. Meaning the Ravens compare favorably run defense-wise to the Bengals front in terms of stopping the run. They can recreate the same things the Bengals do against the run. In the pass game, there's some things that the Bengals do coverage-wise that I'm going to be honest with you. In the offseason, I sat and watched, and I thought I had an understanding of it, and then I'd come upon what looked like the same coverage later, and they would do something different. They're just very multiple, and they're very sound in what they do. The way they teach it must be simple. Again, running, not saying that this is, intentional, but there's DJ Reader running away from him, so it's impossible for him to, be involved in the play. The path of the running back here is such that it looks downhill and then it's designed to go outside, following that wide path of the guard. I don't know what to call this play. I never have. Generally we call it one back power at first glance, just labeling the game one time through quickly, but it's clearly not. All right, same drive. I think you got a 2nd and 8, and you're going to get a stretch to Chubb. I'm not sure where Reader is on this one. Oh, well, if you can't tell, this guy's kicking ass. Trying to scoop him on the backside with the right guard. And like I said earlier in the lead-up, he's able to move laterally and still maintain the base and the balance to get involved in the tackle. He does kind of fall at the end, but he's working, he's being worked on by a backside right guard. Difficult thing to do, run horizontally, run laterally, engage the guard, a pressure key, engage him with your hands accurately where you want to get your hands on, and then be able to disengage and get involved with the tackle. Not sure that he gets credit for the tackle there. I know he definitely had an impact, though. You can see what's going on. They're just, every run concept that the Browns are running is struggling. Another one-back power, but it's off tackle. So again, when you got this concept with the pulling guard, it's usually matched or tagged with a compressed other side of the formation. So the side that he's pulling to is usually compressed. I only see 2 here. It could be a third on the outside. Like I mentioned a couple of plays ago, it was bunch. Yeah, I only see 2 so far. There's a third guy who looks like he's lined up a little wider. And you can see Chubb but takes it outside for a 7-yard gain. I don't see Reader on the field. If you do, let me know. I see 96. I see 68. I don't see Hubbard or Hendrickson. Looks like maybe Asai is on. Going to be interesting to see how he plays. I think he's a really talented guy. Sounds like Hendrickson might be out for a while. Not sure. I enjoy watching him. Hope he's back by the regular season finale when the Ravens and Bengals get the Lockhorns again. All right, that fourth drive again. I got this labeled as buck sweep. I know other people are not going to call this. People are going to call this wide zone. It's just sweep, dude. That's all it is. Normally, buck sweep is pulling the front side guard, pulling the backside guard, and at some point the back is going to put his foot in the ground and then come downhill. this wide zone that people refer to isn't necessarily designed to put your foot in the ground and come downhill like that. It's designed to stretch people horizontally. And you can see Chubb does eventually put his foot in the ground, come downhill. Backside inside linebackers tracking it. Watch these two guys work. Watch him first. We'll run it through a couple of times, full speed. So I'll just click and restart the play right as it's snapped. Look at the tracking that 50s. Watch his relationship to the running back. He's on the backside hip. He's not overrunning him. He's staying on the backside hip of the running back. Tempo in the football. And then what that allows is it allows Wilson to fit on the front side. Wilson's just fitting on the front side of the puller, of this puller. It doesn't look like he's trying to get outside of the first puller. And then presses down. Wilson's there, 2-yard gain. Well-trained defense. Disciplined. Tough. Can't be any fun for the offense to play against. It's going to come down to somebody in Cincinnati in the AFC playoffs. Hopefully it's them and the Ravens. Same play all 22. Just check out the angle. I know people talk about so many concepts in the NFL. Hopefully on this channel I try to point out as many of them. Watch the angle of the linebackers, and then watch the angle of the safety, Jesse Bates, and then the backside safety. He's playing the cutback. This looks like a pursuit-drill, guys. It just looks like a pursuit-drill. Perfectly executed. And then closing the back door. I mean, that's just pursuit drill. Is all it is. You can say maybe Chubb should take it outside if you want to. Again, who knows how they're teaching that play in terms of is he supposed to eventually cut it upfield. 4th drive, again, 3rd and 1. Wedge with Hunt. Look at the effort off the edge. And this is the nickel. 21. Let's say it's Hilton. I might be wrong. Let's say it's Hilton, the guy that used to play for the Steelers. All right, hell of a player. I think he had a pick in the playoffs last year. I could be wrong. And I mean, them losing a Woozy, you would think is going to be a huge problem. Cam Taylor-Britt's come in and played well. Just love the aggression that they play with. Look how committed 21 is to this. Kyle Hamilton had a play like this a couple of weeks ago. And, where I try to be consistent is just praise, no matter the jersey number, no matter the color of the jersey or team. Like, it's the same type play. Just committed to the angle. I'm coming. I'm going to make a play if it shows up here. If it don't show up here, somebody else is going to make the play outside. They trust each other. 1st and 10. I think this is an influence trap. Right tackle looks like he kind of messes it up. Really weird step. I understand what the right tackle's trying to do. I don't know if I give you the end zone angle of this. Let me see. No, we're going to go back to this. So it's an influence trap. Try and trap this guy here, which might be Reader. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. And what the tackle is supposed to do is step to him, make the D tackle think that he's going to down block him. So kind of, step out, especially if he's in a 4-eye. You don't necessarily want to step out if you're in a 3. But and then release outside of him and go pick up, the backside inside linebacker. This guard's going to pull out, and that combined with the first step of the tackle makes this D tackle think that it is a down block and a pull. So then the run play would be, to this direction behind the pull, but it's an influence trap. They're influencing that D tackle to play it as run to his left, when in reality he's getting trapped from the other side. You can now see the left guard. Hopefully I explained that well. If I didn't, forgive me. It's not that it's not a great play. It's a fantastic play. If it didn't come across as a great play in the explanation, it's because of my explanation. Reader's actually on the other side. They're trapping B.J. Hill, 92. But you can see as the left guard goes to trap, the right tackle has made way too much contact with the D tackle, who did a great job. Because he sees the pressure key. He sees the visual key, the right guard pull. So he moves into the right tackle, who's trying to disengage from him. Doesn't allow the right tackle to do so. In any case, Hunt cuts it upfield. 4-yard gain. Wilson was unblocked because, like I said, right tackle wasn't able to get to him. Cool play. I wonder how that'll work out against the Ravens nickel. Bengals are supremely confident running their nickel defense and trying to stop the run out of it. Hunt, 0-yard gain on stretch. Guess who's at the bottom of the pile? Remember I showed you that stretch play earlier? Earlier in the game, 13-yard gain. It was Chubb, to the left, offense's left, and DJ Reader was the backside D tackle. This time he's to the play side. Seems like the Browns run stretch to their left a lot more. I guess it makes sense, right? Their quarterback is right-handed. They want to set up the boot, to his right. But you can still run the stretch to the right. Great job by Reader. Fighting off two guys. Watch him try to close down the backside. Here, he's trying to close down the backside. I think it's Wilson. If the Ravens play run defense like this against the Browns, I think the Browns are in for a long day. And I think the Ravens are absolutely capable of playing run defense like this. And they have proven that, so far this year. 3rd and 6. 4th drive, like I said, it's a pass play. Guess who gets the tip? DJ Reader. 5 tackles, pass defensed. They get a quarterback hit. He's right here. I don't know why my eyes find defensive players across the NFL quicker to appreciate than my eyes find offensive players. Probably because I like defense better, being a former defensive coordinator at the high school level. So, DJ Reader's just one of those guys that last year in the playoffs impressed me, particularly in the Titans game. And I thought that he played well, up until the point where he was hurt. So let me know what you guys think. I know that he was around this year in the first 3 games when the Bengals started 1-2. Well, 0-2 actually. He was around during that time. Don't get me wrong, but his return, in my opinion, has helped that defense come full circle. And the ball was already rolling downhill, I think, before he came back in Week 11. And now I think the ball is completely rolling downhill. From a Bengals fan's perspective, missing Awuzie is huge because he's a extremely underrated corner across the NFL, world and universe. So many people are constantly putting out top 10, top 5 rankings. I don't know where Awuzie would be in those. I don't care. I know this. Awuzie probably starts at corner for 30 teams in the NFL, if not all of them. He's just that good. So to lose him and then plug in a guy like Cam Taylor-Britt, you would think there's going to be, at some point, there's going to be a drop-off in effectiveness. But so far, in my opinion, the Bengals defense has fought against that tide well. I think a lot of it is the return of DJ Reader. They're turning teams into being one-dimensional and getting things rolling just at the right time for them. Let me know what you think of the video in the comment section, what you think of the Bengals run defense, how they stop the Browns. If you're a Ravens fan, you listen this long, how you think the Ravens can recreate or do some of these similar things to stop the Browns run game. Just recognition, commitment, block destruction, and tackling is all it is. And then if you think I missed any elements or there was any important plays I didn't show, let me know. I really only focused on the first 4 possessions to try to keep this video at 20, 22 minutes or less, and I certainly failed at that. Appreciate you guys' time. Let me know what you think of the video in the comment section.